starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, the irrepressible Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson. The Nelsons' next-door neighbor, Thorny, is played by DeFore.
Come on, David, that's cheating.
It is not cheating.
It is so.
The trouble with you is you're a chicken.
Oh, yeah, that's what you think, wise guy.
That's what I know, half pint.
You better watch out, David. I may be small, but I'm awful mean.
Oh, sit down.
Hey, take it easy, will you? What's all the noise about?
Oh, were you talking too loud, Pop?
Are you kidding? Is this one of your friendly little discussions?
Yes, sir. That's what I can't understand. How can anybody be as smart as you and have a son as dumb as David?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm in high school now, and I'm getting a little bit too old to get in these silly arguments with you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, come on. Calm down, will you, fellas?
You better tell him to be careful, Pop. I'm getting pretty strong, boy.
That's a laugh.
Oh, yeah? Have you seen my muscles lately?
What's the matter? Can't you find them either?
Come on, take it easy, will you, guys?
Okay, Pop. Ricky has something important he wants to ask you.
Who, me? I thought you were going to ask him.
We had the elections and you were elected.
Yeah, I know. I thought I voted for you.
You did, and I won, so you have to ask him.
Yeah, well, somebody better ask me or I'll never find out. Come on, David, what is it?
Well, we'd like to do our Christmas shopping a little early this year, Pop.
Well, it sounds like a fine idea to me. You certainly have my permission for that.
Oh, boy, come on, let's go, David.
Wait a minute. You're forgetting the most important part.
What's that?
We need some money to buy the presents with.
Not a boy, David. I knew you could ask him.
I've been framed.
Pretty neat job, too, if you ask me.
Oh, I don't mess around, boy.
Looks like I'm the guy that's been framed. How much is this going to cost me?
Oh, don't worry, Pop. It won't cost you anything.
Well, there must be a catch to it somewhere.
There is. See, we want to work for the money.
Well, that sounds like a very commendable idea.
You can blame David.
I thought if we worked for it, we'd appreciate it more.
Yeah, that's right.
That's at least the way I feel.
I always appreciate it more if Pop gives it to us.
No, David's right, Ricky.
Can we do it, Pop?
Well, I don't see why not. I think there are lots of little jobs you can do around the house and earn some extra money.
What's this? Did I hear you say you were paying for housework now, dear?
Well, only for the boys, you see. They want to earn a little extra money for Christmas presents.
Well, that sounds like a fine idea.
Well, that's not exactly what we meant, Pop.
Well, I thought you said you wanted to work and earn some money.
We mean a regular job in a store.
A regular job?
Oh, just on weekends and after school, maybe.
A lot of the kids are doing it.
Well, I'm sure there are lots of things you could do around the house here. You could help your mother with the chores.
Yeah, but we want to make some money.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but if Mom doesn't get paid, then it's not fair.
Yeah, that's a thought.
Now, just a second. Let's tackle one problem at a time. Where do you guys think you could get a job?
And we could work in a store.
No, I think you guys are a little young for that.
And we talked to Mr. Miller at the grocery store, and he said he'd think it over.
Oh, I don't see how you'd make much money.
If it was an ice cream store, I'd work for nothing, boy.
You may have something there.
How about it, Pop? What do you say?
Well, I don't suppose earning a little Christmas money will do you any harm.
Oh, I'm not sure I like the idea of they're going out and working in some strange place, though.
Oh, don't worry, Mom. We know practically everybody in town. Or at least Ricky does.
Really?
Sure. When we go to the bakery, the lady always gives him a free cookie. When we go to the drugstore, he gets free bubble gum. He even gets free ice cream at the soda store.
So you do all right, don't you?
Oh, I don't mess around, boy.
He knows everybody. He's a regular politician.
Can I help it if older women find me attractive?
I still think you guys are pretty young to go out and get an actual job.
Pop used to work when he was a boy, didn't you, Pop?
Well, yes, that's true, David. I'll never forget this one winter. I think it was the coldest winter we ever had. I had this job working Saturdays in a grocery store. I had to trudge 3 miles through the snow just to get there.
Did you work afternoons, too?
Well, no, it wasn't a regular job, but... See, it seemed in those days we had more snow in the winters, and your Uncle Al and I used to pick up some extra money shoveling snow off people's sidewalks. Never forget this one afternoon, we took care of 15 customers.
Holy smokes.
Well, that sounds like a lot of hard work, boy.
Well, if you figure on earning extra Christmas money, you gotta count on a lot of hard work.
Well, it's okay with me, Pop, can't we?
Well, it's up to you guys. It's all right with me.
Gee, thanks, Pop.
Well, I want to go on record as saying this is not my idea.
Come on, Ricky. Let's go.
I could have been talked out of this very easily.
You boys be careful downtown.
Okay, Mom.
Will you do me one favor, Mom?
What's that, dear?
Will you tell David he doesn't have to hold my hand when we cross the street anymore?
Come on, we want to hold your hand anyhow.
Oh, yeah? Don't forget, I'm also attracted to younger women.
Imagine those guys looking for a job.
I hope they don't get into any trouble.
No, they'll be all right.
Oh, say, before I forget it, would you pick up a couple of things at the grocery store for me?
Oh, I think it could be arranged.
Well, here's the list. It's just a few blocks. You know where Miller's grocery store is, don't you?
Oh, sure. Well, is this a complete list? Just eggs and a pound of butter?
No, don't worry about that, dear. I gave Mr. Miller a great big list of things yesterday. They're waiting right there for you to pick them up.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's not that much. I'd pick them up myself, but I have to go over to Schultz's bakery, and that's in the opposite direction. Besides, you can work up an appetite for lunch.
Just a second. You don't care how the groceries get here as long as they arrive in time for dinner, right?
Well, no, if you don't feel strong enough, you can take Ricky's bike.
Well, that's not a bad idea, but I think I have a better one.
Okay, suit yourself. I'll see you later.
Miller's Market.
Hello, Mr. Miller. This is Mr. Nelson.
Oh, hello, Mr. Nelson.
Say, do you make deliveries?
Oh, sure, especially to our good customers.
Well, Mrs. Nelson gave you an order yesterday, and she'd like to add a dozen eggs and a pound of butter.
Okay. Yeah. Well, looks like you're having a party or something.
No, but we have two growing boys, and they sure keep putting it away.
Yeah, and fine youngsters they are, too.
Oh, thank you.
Say, that little fella's a regular card, isn't he? My wife says that all the women are crazy about him.
Yes, I know. He told us.
As a matter of fact, they were in here to see me just yesterday. Wanted to know if I needed any extra help around the store.
Oh, yes, they mentioned they'd spoken to you. I think they're trying to earn some extra money for Christmas.
Well, I didn't know what to say exactly. To be honest with you, I don't need any extra help right now.
Oh, of course, I understand. Besides, they're pretty young, especially Ricky.
Oh, they're awfully good boys, though.
Say, wait, I just got an idea. Say, I wonder if you'd do me a favor.
Certainly try, Mr. Nelson.
Well, I was wondering whether you could find a couple of things for him to do down there and give him a couple of dollars, and then I'd reimburse you.
Well, I hate to take advantage of a situation like that.
No, it's nothing like that. In fact, you'd be doing me a favor. You know, you could just let him help out with a few things around the store, and then just give him a couple of dollars and add it on to our bill.
Well, if you say so, Mr. Nelson. Like I say, they're awful good boys, and if they do any real work for me, I'll pay them myself.
Oh, don't you worry about that. Just make sure they don't find out about it. You know, it'd spoil the fun.
Don't you worry, I'll just tell them I changed my mind. In fact, I guess we could use a little extra help at that. We're expecting some things in for the holidays, and the boys could help me unload and put them on display.
Oh, that's fine.
And they could make some deliveries for me, too.
What time do you want them there?
Anytime after lunch, say about 2 o'clock.
Okay, then I'll tell them.
Say, why don't I call them on the phone and make it sort of businesslike?
Well, ought to be just easy if I tell them I was speaking to you on the phone, or any way you want to do it.
Okay, Mr. Nelson. Don't you worry about a thing.
Okay, goodbye, and thanks a lot.
Bye.
Hello? Yes, just a moment. David, it's for you.
Thanks, Mom. Hello? Yes, sir? Yes, sir? Yes, sir. Gee, thanks a lot, sir. Yes, sir, I'm sure we will, sir. Gee, and thanks a lot, sir. Yes, sir. Goodbye, sir.
Who was that, the truant officer?
Guess what, Pop? Who do you think that was?
Well, I would say offhand that was probably one of our local merchants who called to offer the Nelson boys a job.
That's right, Pop. How did you guess?
Oh, call it a wild guess or a shot in the dark.
Say, what is all this?
We got a job, Mom. Guess where we're working?
Wait a minute, Dave. I think it might be a good idea if you don't tell your mother and me. Just keep it a secret.
What for?
Well, I think it's more fun that way. After all, the boys don't have to tell us everything they do, you know.
What's all the noise about?
We got a job. We start this afternoon.
Oh, boy, how much do we make?
I don't know. We didn't say.
I'm sure you'll be well paid, Ricky. You just worry about doing a good job.
I will, Mom. What are we supposed to do, David?
I don't know. We'll find out when we get there.
Well, what time do you boys have to be there?
2 o'clock.
How'd you know, Pop?
Oh, well, I figured, it figures.
Let's get there at 1 o'clock and pick up some overtime.
The man said 2 o'clock.
Well, I better get your lunch ready. I don't want you to be late.
I wish I knew how much a job paid.
Will you please stop discussing money?
Okay.
Sounds so mercenary.
Okay. Big man. Lofty principles.
Take it easy, will you, guys? surprised. I should think you fellas would be very happy you've got a job.
Oh, I am, Pa.
Me too.
I was kind of worried there when we weren't going to get one.
Did you think we were going to get one, Pa?
Well, yes, I felt pretty confident the moment I heard the phone ring.
How come?
Oh, I don't mess around, boy.
Hi, Oz.
Oh, hi, Thorny.
What's up? Planning a trip to the moon?
No, I was just looking up at the skies. The weather seems a little threatening today, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Say, not to be changing the subject, but I just saw your two young sons heading down the street. They looked like they were in an awful big hurry.
Oh, they're pretty important guys today, Thorny. They were going to work.
Don't tell me they got a job.
Yeah? Yeah, they want to earn a little Christmas money. You know, it's pretty tough for kids to find work these days.
Yes, it is. My boy Will's been looking all week. But nobody seems to need a 15-year-old boy who's very good at basketball. Where did David and Ricky finally get their job?
Well, there's a bit of a catch to it. See, I phoned Mr. Miller down at the grocery store, and I made arrangements with him to have the kids do a few jobs around the store, and he's going to give them a couple of dollars, and then I'll reimburse him.
Oh, hey, that's not bad.
Well, I suppose it might be called cheating on the boys a bit, but I think you'll find something for him to do.
Oh, sure. There's always a lot of work they can do around a grocery store.
Well, I don't want him to do a lot of work. I mean, you know, not lifting big, heavy crates or stuff like that.
You better not let him work too much around the frozen foods, Oz, especially in this cold weather.
Well, actually, what Mr. Miller will do is send him out with orders for the customers. You know, it keeps them outdoors. It's just like playing, really.
Oh, yes, they can do that.
Of course, I don't mean the big, heavy orders. They'll lift the smaller, lighter stuff.
Oh, sure. But say, for instance, somebody needs an orange or wants a loaf of bread delivered.
Well, there are lots of things I can take care of.
Sounds like a swell idea to me, Oz.
Oh, gee, thanks, Thorny. You know, I offered to give the kids money, but by golly, they turned me down.
A lot of kids like to earn their own way. I'll bet they get a big kick out of it. Yep, I remember my boyhood days. Every year, I'd go to work just before Christmas.
Oh, really? What kind of a job did you get?
No job. I'd go to work on my father. Nope, I wasn't anything like David or Ricky. Is there something wrong, Oz?
I just thought I felt a drop of rain. I wonder if it's beginning to sprinkle.
Well, it's been threatening all morning. It's kind of a raw, disagreeable day anyway, isn't it?
Come to think of it, I don't think the boys brought their raincoats with them, Thorny.
Oh, they'll be all right.
The store will probably be making a lot of deliveries on a day like this, too.
Gee, it's going to be coming down hard in a minute.
You don't think Mr. Miller will send them out if it starts to rain, do you?
Oh, Oz, don't worry. Besides, the kids love the rain. Well, I'm going to get in the house.
I mean, if it becomes really rainy, you don't think Mr. Miller would send them out, do you?
Of course not.
I mean, you know, a kid can get soaked to the skin on a day like this.
Oh, it looks like we're in for a real storm. Wow, here it comes. Say, Oz.
Yeah.
I still have that umbrella I borrowed from you last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When you find a minute, come on over and get it.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, Harriet, do you
Quite
know...
a storm, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know where my car keys are?
Well, I hope you don't plan to drive on a day like this.
Yeah, I think I'll go over to Miller's grocery store and pick up the boys.
Miller's grocery store?
Yeah, they're working over there this afternoon.
Well, how do you know?
Well, I wasn't going to tell you this quite so soon, but I made arrangements with Mr. Miller to find a few things for him to do around the store. Then he's going to pay them, and I'm going to reimburse him. Of course, they don't know about this last part.
Well, for goodness sakes, dear, wasn't that clever of you?
Well, I thought it was this morning, but now I see how rainy it is, I'm not quite so sure. I don't know as I like the idea they're trudging around this mud and rain all afternoon.
Well, I thought you said they were going to work in the store.
Well, yes, but he'll probably have them making some deliveries and things like that.
Oh, not on a day like this.
Well, you know kids, they'll probably be trying hard to make good on their first day.
Come to think of it, they didn't take their raincoats, did they?
No, nor their galoshes. I think I better drive over there and pick them up, Harriet.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary.
Well, I do. Frankly, I'm a little worried about that.
What about those jobs you used to have? You were pretty young yourself.
Yes, that's true.
You worked in the store. You walked 3 miles to work.
Well, Harriet, I've been thinking that over, and the store was actually only about 5 blocks from our house. Not only that, I didn't walk. My father used to drive me there in the car. In fact, he drove me around on all the deliveries I made. You know, the more I think of it, I'll bet he worked the same deal that I worked with Mr. Miller. I'd better go get the boys.
Oh, relax, dear. Here comes Mr. Miller up the walk now.
Oh, good. He's probably bringing the boys home. Hi, Mr. Miller.
Howdy, Mr. Nelson. Hello, Mrs. Nelson.
Hello.
Sure is coming down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an awful day out.
Oh, I better not come in any further. My feet are kind of muddy.
It's okay. Where are the boys? Out in the truck?
Oh, yeah, David and Ricky. See, what happened to them? I waited around the store this afternoon. They never did show up.
You mean they're not working down your grocery store?
I know. I figured you must have kept them in with the way the weather turned out and everything.
Well, no. Somebody phoned at noon and told them to show up for work. I thought it was you.
No, it wasn't me. I thought you were going to tell them.
Well, yes, I was, but this party phoned about noontime and told the boys to report for work at 2 o'clock. I just figured it was you.
No, it wasn't me. I had lunch over at my wife's sister's place this afternoon. They don't have a phone. My brother-in-law comes over to the store and uses mine. Sits there talking and eating fruit. Runs a pretty good-sized bill, too.
That's funny.
Well, you wouldn't think so if you had to pay it.
I wonder where the boys are working.
Beats me. Well, bye-bye, Mr. Nelson. Bye, Mrs. Nelson.
Goodbye, Mr. Miller.
Bye, Mr. Miller. Here, I'll put those away, dear.
Hey, I'm worried about the boys. Did you hear that? They didn't show up at the grocery store.
Yes, I know. Let me check over this list and make sure everything's here.
Hey, did you hear what I said? The boys aren't at Miller's Market.
Yes, dear, I heard you. Milk, bread, butter,
Gee, I wonder where they could be.
soup, lettuce, string beans.
Well, aren't you worried about them?
No, not particularly.
Well, Harriet, it's pouring down rain outside. The boys don't have their raincoats. They don't have their galoshes or anything. They're someplace getting soaked to the skin, and we don't even know where they are.
Well, Mr. Schultz promised me he wouldn't let them leave the store.
Mr. Schultz.
Yes, they're working at Schultz's bakery. I only hope they don't eat up more than the $2 I promised to give him.
You mean to say you pulled the same stunt with Mr. Schultz that I did with Mr. Miller?
Yes, I did. You know, they say some people even get to look alike after they've been married a long time.
Here, I've been worried to death about the boys, and they're sitting in a nice, cozy bakery.
I only hope Mr. Schultz doesn't leave them alone with the chocolate eclairs.
Yeah, he must have been the one who phoned this noon. Say, it's getting kind of late. I just say, why don't you phone Mr. Schultz and tell him I'll be down to pick the boys up in the car. I wouldn't want him to walk all the way home in this rain.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I hope they don't spoil their dinner. You know, Ricky and that sweet stuff.
What are they supposed to do down there?
Oh, I don't know. Mr. Schultz said he'd find something for them to do.
Well, I hope he does. Aside from the stomach aches, we could wind up owing Schultz about $50 if he ever sets them loose.
Hello, Mr. Schultz? This is Mrs. Nelson. Oh, fine, thank you. Say, will you tell David and Ricky that their father will come down in the car and...
I'll be down about 10 minutes, tell him.
What was that, Mr. Schultz? They didn't?
What's this?
Well, are you sure they aren't there?
Tell him to look in the pantry.
Did you call at lunchtime and... Well, yes, I know. Well, somebody called and told them to be at work at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Oh. Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Schultz. Goodbye.
They're not there, huh?
They aren't at the bakery.
Well, I'll be darned. Where the heck can they be? I wonder what kind of places would hire kids about that age. Maybe drugstores or grocery stores or bakeries. Here. Call up every drugstore, bakery, and grocery store in town.
All right, you look in the book and I'll do the phoning.
Gee whiz, what do we do now? We called every grocery...
Hi, Mom.
Oh, boys, where the heck have you been?
We've been working, don't you remember?
Sure, we told you.
Well, yes, but where?
The Emporium.
The Emporium.
The department store? What were you doing down there?
We were actors.
Actors?
Yeah, Ricky and I and 3 other guys. We sat in a big window and watched television.
We were better actors than some of the actors we saw.
Did you just in the window snow and watch television?
Yeah, he gave us each $1.
Just think of all the times we watched the Thornberrys television for nothing.
Gee, you know, come to think of it, it's a pretty good advertising stunt.
Well, you boys are soaking wet. Did you walk home?
No, I took a taxi.
A taxi? Well, why didn't you phone? I'd have gone down and picked you up in the car.
Well, we tried about 6 times, but the line was always busy.
Well, your mother got kind of worried, and she's been phoning around town a little bit to see where you guys were. Gee, it's a shame you had to use up your money in a taxi cab.
I still have 50 cents left.
And I got a quarter.
Oh, well, that doesn't even up. How come you have 50 cents and you only have a quarter?
I'm a big tipper.
Come on, you guys. Get out of those wet clothes.
The man wants us back every Saturday for the next month.
You should have seen the audience we had, even in the rain.
Ricky started showing off.
I did not. I always watch television stand on my head.
Fellas, you say this man wants you back every Saturday for a month?
Yes, sir, that's what he said.
And all you do is watch television?
Yes, sir.
And he pays you $1 apiece?
Mm-hmm.
Gee. I wonder if he could use a slightly older boy. I have a propeller beanie, and we'll travel.
Hey, Pop,
Yes, Dave?
didn't you say you and Uncle Al shoveled snow off the sidewalk for 15 people in one afternoon?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I told Will Thornberry, but he said it's impossible.
It does seem like an awful lot of snow, dear. Are you sure it was 15?
Perhaps I should explain it a little further. You see, there was this apartment house, and 15 people were living in it, so we shoveled all the snow off the front sidewalk right in front of the place. Each one of the people gave us a nickel.
Going on? Ozzie's planning a trip to the New York World's Fair.
You know, one of the most eye-opening things about the fair is the way it dramatizes what modern gas can do. Gas air conditions nearly 80% of the fair and heats over 90% of it. The General Motors Futurama, the Ford Pavilion, Bell Telephone, these are just a few of the spectacular pavilions heated and cooled by gas. We Nelsons chose gas heating and cooling for the same reasons. Gas is more dependable and more economical.
All the fine restaurants at the fair use gas. They like gas for its speed and control. So do I. And it's so clean.
Yeah, I can see us there now. What a dinner we'll have at Festival 65, the Gas Pavilion Restaurant.
Hey, wake up.
Fine thing, I was just about to taste that steak.
Well, relax. We're having steak broiled on our own gas range tonight.
Oh, good.
Why don't you and your family live modern for less with gas?
Hi. We're going to turn back the clock a few years this evening, 8 to be exact, and show you what happened to the Nelson household during Christmas week in 1956.
We thought we'd warn you just in case we all look a little younger. We hope you enjoy reminiscing with us.
You know, every time I hear Silent Night, it reminds me of a wonderful Christmas Eve years ago when Harriet and I were first married. We'd finished trimming the tree, and we'd opened a few of our presents, and we're just sitting there in front of the fireplace. When all of a sudden, as if from out of nowhere, we heard voices singing Silent Night. It was a group of carolers, friends of ours, and they'd stopped in front of our house to sing for.
You didn't like the jacket I gave you very much, did you?
Well, are you kidding? It's perfect, just what I wanted.
Well, then why don't you wear it and let Ricky wear his?
This? Well, I was just trying it on. Pretty nice, isn't it?
Shall I get you one for your birthday?
Oh, no, thanks. It's very nice, but it's a little too young for me.
Oh, good. Then I'll just send you a card.
Well, it'd better be a pretty fancy one. Oh, where did you say I got those?
Mrs. Brewster, she knitted them herself.
Oh, wow. What are they for?
Well, they're socks. They're for your feet, of course. I think they're kind of cute.
Oh, yeah, that's very nice. Considering she knitted them with her feet, you say?
Oh, don't be silly. I think it was very thoughtful of her.
Oh, yeah, it was very nice. Maybe they'll shrink a little.
Oh, say, do you know who sent Ricky that pretty sweater?
Well, yeah, Kay and Al.
I thought so. I just wasn't sure about it.
Pop, which one of these ties do you think looks the best?
Oh, that's hard to say. They all look nice, Dave. It depends on what you're going to wear it with.
Well, for instance, if you were going to borrow one, which one would you take?
Well, I think I'd take this one.
Well, that's the one you better wear, Dave, if you want to protect us.
Hey, Rick, wait a minute. Where are you going with my smoking jacket?
Well, somebody's got my new sport coat on.
Oh, yeah, well, I was just trying this on.
Hey, you want to trade? This one fits me fine.
Oh, no, I can't do that. See, your mother gave me that for Christmas.
Mom gave me that one.
Yeah. Well, here, I don't know what you have it.
You sure it's my turn? It must be. I wore it all last night.
Here's a present that hasn't been opened yet.
Well, who's it for?
To David and Ricky from Aunt Ellen.
Aunt Ellen. Did I ever meet her?
Yes, I think so. A long time ago. It's been years since we've heard from her.
Careful there. Half of that's mine. What is it, Dave? It's a Tiny Tim construction set.
I guess she lost track of the boys' ages.
Yeah, it's a nice thought, though.
Remember, I had one of these when I was about 8 years old.
It's kind of nice.
And here you are, Pop. It's all yours.
Oh, thanks. You can put together some interesting things with these.
Hey, Pop, I'll trade you my half for the smoking jacket.
Oh. No, thanks, Rick. I don't want to keep it. I just want to fool around with it a little.
I just thought I'd ask. Well, I was thinking last night about some of the Christmases we had when we were real small. I remember I could hardly wait for 6 o'clock to come so we could go downstairs and see all our presents.
Yeah, Christmas is really great about that age.
Oh, things haven't changed so much, at least not the day after Christmas. We always used to gather around the tree just like this and talk things over.
It looks the same to me. Mom cleaning up the mess, Pop playing with our toys. You're a fine one to talk. When are you going to give me a chance at my electric guitar? Gee, why shouldn't I play it? After all, I gave it to you. Well, at least my name was on the card.
I think we all got real lucky this year. It was a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, it sure was. I remember the best time I ever had was the day after Christmas. We got those skates, and we all drove up to the lake and went skating. Yeah, and they had a big bonfire going, and we all sat around and roasted hot dogs. And I drank coffee, and nobody knew it. You were a little devil, all right.
Gee, I haven't been skating in years.
Neither have I. Gee, I don't even know if my skates still fit me or not. Oh, we'll take these for you, Mom.
Oh, thanks, dear.
You want me to take them out the incinerator and burn them?
Don't you dare.
What are you going to do with them?
Well, I'm going to save them, of course. You don't burn beautiful boxes like those. Put them on the top shelf of the garage, boys.
Well, how about the boxes you saved from last year?
Oh, well, push those to the back of the shelf and put these in front of them.
Well, we're going to drive downtown. Do you want anything from down there?
No, thank you, dear.
How about you, Pop?
Oh, no thanks, Dave.
Hey, what are these, Mom?
Oh, they're socks. Mrs. Brewster knitted them for your father. And no remarks, please.
Oh, they're perfect.
Hey, what are you doing?
Watch this. Here's one for you, Dave. It's a thing for skating.
Go on, you guys.
There, you see?
Oh, it's very nice, dear. What is it?
Oh, no, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the boys.
What about them?
Well, we're always afraid we're forcing ourselves on them, and yet they're the ones who always talk about the good times we used to have together.
Well, we still have good times together.
Oh, yeah, but I mean things like going up to the lake, ice skating, things like that.
Well, if they want to go skating, they'll just hop into a car and drive up there. They don't need us tagging along.
Oh, no, you know what I mean. There's something about Christmas week that sort of brings families together.
Are you kidding? The only time they're home during the holidays is to eat and sleep. And sometimes not even that.
Look, I know those guys pretty well. They don't like you to know it, but they're both sentimentalists at heart.
Well, of course they are, and I'm glad. What are you building?
What I had in mind is, why don't we suggest to them that we all take a drive up to the lake and have an old-fashioned family skating party?
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Oh, wait a minute. A few of us girls are going to get together over at Clara's tonight. Jill had to go out of town.
Well, can't you call her up and get out of it?
I suppose I could. In fact, I told her I might not be able to make it.
Oh, great. Well, then we'll go. I'll go see if I can find our skates.
I think they're out in the garage. Oh, and while you're out there, see if you can find some old pillows. I haven't been skating in quite a while.
Hi, Oz. Gee, I'm sorry, Doc.
Okay, so you didn't like my Christmas present. You don't have to be a sorehead.
I don't know why Harriet wants those boxes up there.
I want you to see what Santa Claus brought me.
Oh, what is it? Oh, boy, what a beautiful bowling ball.
I figure that ought to raise my average by at least 12 pins.
Let's see, the last time we bowled, your score was 110, wasn't it?
It was not. That was my golf score.
Oh.
I thought maybe you'd like to bowl tonight, and we could make a little bet.
Well, gee, thanks a lot, Doc, but Harriet and the boys and I are going up skating this afternoon up the lake, and I don't think we get back in time.
Ice skating?
Yeah.
You got...
Come in.
Hi, Mr. Nelson.
Well, hello there, Terry. Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Same to you.
Hey, that's quite a gun you've got there.
Yeah, shoots ping pong balls.
Well, how about this?
It's very well constructed, too. I got it yesterday, and it still works. Gee, I'm sorry.
Very funny, very funny.
Well, you must admit it was a good shot, though.
You'll hear from me later.
I hope you're not mad, Mrs. Nelson.
Oh, no, Terry, I have a very good sense of humor.
See, everybody in our family has a good sense of humor, Terry.
I told you you'd hear from me later.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought this gun over here.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with the gun. It's just a lucky thing it doesn't shoot billiard balls.
Miss Dave and Ricky didn't get any toys, did they?
Well, they got this one over here kind of by mistake.
Oh, I got one of these last year.
They're real nice. Did you make anything with it?
No, we had a little bad luck. My dad broke it before I had a chance to build anything.
Oh. Well, that's the way us dads will do sometimes.
Hey, are these new?
Oh, no. These are a few years old.
I got a pair of skates for Christmas.
Oh, did you? Skating's a lot of fun.
Are you going skating, Mr. Nelson?
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, Dave, Ricky, Mrs. Nelson, and myself, we're all going skating this afternoon up the lake.
Wish my dad would take me skating.
Well, would you like to come along with us?
Yeah, do you really mean it?
Well, sure. I think you'd better ask your mother first.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Nelson. I'll be right back.
Hey, just a second. Don't forget your gun.
Thanks. You won't leave without me, will you?
Oh, no.
Scout's honor?
Yes, outside.
Okay.
I made some hot chocolate and sandwiches to take with us.
Oh, good. Look nice. Where are the boys?
I think I just heard them pull in the driveway.
Oh, yeah, here they come.
Oh, you've got on your long woolen underwear, too, huh?
Well, come on, hurry up, fellas. Get your warm clothes on.
Why? It's not cold out.
It will be up at the lake.
The lake? Who's going up to the lake?
Well, we are.
We are.
We're going skating.
Oh, gee, that's swell. Have a good time. Yeah, have a good time.
Oh, wait a minute, fellas. We're all going up there together like we used to.
We are.
Well, gee, fellas, it was your idea. Don't you remember you were talking about the good times we used to have the day after Christmas when we'd all go up to the lake skating together? So I just thought we'd follow your suggestion and go up there today.
Well, it wasn't a suggestion, Pop. We were just sort of reminiscing. Yeah, reminiscing.
Oh. Well, I thought you wanted to go up there.
Well, it would have been swell if we'd have known in time, but I have a date. Yeah, me too.
Oh. Oh, well, I guess I just misunderstood. I kind of thought you wanted to go when you mentioned... It's okay, fellas.
Gee, Pop, you don't have to wait for us. Why don't you and Mom go up there?
Oh, no, that's okay, Dave. We'll make it some other time.
Gee, I'm sorry, Pop, but I wouldn't want to call off this date at the last minute.
No, that's right.
Maybe we can make it some other time.
Yeah.
Care for some hot chocolate?
Oh, no thanks. I don't think so.
You know, we really can't blame the boys, dear. We just assumed they'd want to go.
Oh, sure. We can't expect them to call off dates. I was just hoping maybe we could go skating together.
Say, as long as we're not going to go anyway, I think I'll call up Clara and tell her I can come over and play bridge tonight.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't you do that?
Hey, why don't you call up Doc and tell him you can go bowling?
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, no, you go.
No, after you.
No.
Oh, go on.
Oh, hello, Doc. This is Ozzie. No broken bones. Look, we're not going to go skating. I want to... Would you like to go bowling?
Wish you were here.
Snapshots in a letter. They're the next best thing to a personal visit. And to one who's waited so eagerly to see them, snapshots will almost seem to come alive. Now she can see how big the baby's grown. Now she knows how well and happy her family is. And how about you? Someone you know would give the world to see pictures of you and your family. They're easy to send. All it takes is a little thoughtfulness, a camera, and some Kodak film. Right now, Kodak has a new film. Verichrome pans make your snapshots better in sunlight, in the shade, on dull, cloudy days, or indoors with flash. Isn't there someone who'd like to receive snapshots from you?
Wish you were here.
Yes, Clara, if you're still going to play, I can make it. Well, we've changed our plans. Okay, can you pick me up at 7:30? Fine, goodbye.
Are you all set?
Yes, you're going bowling with Doc, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can go skating some other time.
Oh, sure. It probably would have been too long a drive all the way up to the lake anyway.
Would have been fun, though. The four of us, just like old times.
For goodness sakes, dear, you don't seem to realize the boys have grown up. We don't have any little children around here anymore. Oh, what happened to the instructions that came with this? Do you know?
They're right here.
Oh, thanks. See, things have changed around here.
Yes, you used to get a lot more toys for Christmas.
Oh, you know, little Terry would tell me he got one of these for Christmas last year. Holy smokes.
What's the matter?
Well, little Terry, I promised we'd take him up to the lake.
Well, what did you do that for when we're not going?
Well, I did when we were. I told him to go home and see if it was okay with his mother.
Well, what'll we do?
Well, gee, I promised him. I can't disappoint the little guy. Why don't we go up anyway? We can be there in about 3 hours, Harriet. You should have seen the look on his face when I told him we'd take him with us. Harriet?
Hello, Clara. This is Harriet. I'm afraid there's been another slight change in our plans.
Yeah. Well, gee, I'm terribly sorry to keep changing your plans like this, Doc, but I just don't think I should disappoint the little guy. Well, we can go bowling some other night. Okay, Doc. Yeah, I'm sorry. So long.
Everything all right?
Oh, I hope so. He didn't seem too happy about it.
What'd he say?
Well, I'm not quite sure. The whole last part was in Latin.
Somebody's at the door.
Oh, it must be little Terry. Just a minute. Oh, hiya, Terry. Come on in.
Hi, Mr. Nelson.
Well, I see you're all set for skating.
Well, that's what I came over to tell you. I can't go with you.
How come?
My father's going to take me after all.
Oh, I see. What, he changed his mind?
Yes, sir. My mother made him. She's a very forceful woman.
I see what you mean. But does your father know how to get up to the lake?
Oh, we're not going to the lake. We're going to the Polo Palace. Thanks anyway, Mr. Nelson.
Oh, okay. Have a good time.
Same to you.
Now what do we do?
Well, there's no sense sitting around the house doing nothing.
Well, here's an idea. This time you call up Clara and I'll call up Doc.
See any alleys open yet, Oz?
No, the guy said he'd let us know.
It's too bad I called up and canceled our reservation.
Well, a little mixed up. It's my fault. I know how anxious you are to try out your new bowling ball. I thought sure we'd have the family skating party.
Yesterday was Christmas, Oz. You spent it with your family, didn't you?
Well, naturally.
Well, consider yourself lucky. Now, my boy went to a basketball game and then to a dance. All I saw of him was the back of my new sports jacket going out the front door.
I know just what you mean. I got a new smoking jacket for Christmas, and Ricky's had it on more than I have.
Dr. Williams?
Oh, yes. Is there an alley ready for us?
No, there's a phone call for you.
Oh, thank you.
You can take it right over here.
Thank you. Dr. Williams? Oh, well, I'll meet you there in 10 minutes.
Anything important, Doc?
I got to meet Mrs. Jackson in the stork at the hospital.
Ooh, when are we going to go bowling?
Next time you decide to go ice skating.
Harriet? Boys?
Isn't this a wonderful time of the year, this winter vacation time? Move your chairs over closer here while our roving camera takes you to some of our favorite winter sports rendezvous within easy driving distance of your home. Doesn't this look like fun? Down we go on the old toboggan slide. Look out there, kids. Wow, look at those skiers as they wind their way gracefully down the slope.
Say, this looks familiar. Why, of course, this is the famous winter lodge at Lake Wauwanaesa. Skiing and skating are wonderful this time of year. Well, for goodness sakes, this looks like old times. Here's the Nelson family. They used to come up here every Christmas vacation, but I haven't seen them for years. Doesn't Harriet skate nicely, though? So smooth and graceful. And David and Ricky, just look at those boys skate. And Ozzie. Yes, sir, I haven't seen Ozzie up here in quite a while. Here they come round again. Isn't it nice to see families having fun together like this? Watch David. Very nice, Dave. That's a well-executed 3-jump, a beauty. I don't think Ricky will try any jumps. He's wearing racing skates. Wait a minute. Boy, that was a beauty, Ricky. That's a very difficult jump known as an axel. There aren't many professionals who can do a jump like that on racing skates.
No, thanks. I skate much better up at the lake.
Hiya, Dave. Hiya, Rick. You know Benny and Carol, don't you?
Hiya, girls.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was home watching television when all of a sudden I got the idea to come over here skating. Gee, I never thought I'd see you guys. It's a wonderful surprise.
We were going to go to the movies, but the girls got some skates for Christmas, so we decided to come over here instead.
Oh. Hey, what are you doing with my new smoking jacket?
Looks pretty good, huh, Pop? I'll trade you this for that jazzy sweater you got there.
Yeah, that's a real gasser, Pop. Where'd you get that? Well, your mother gave it to me years ago. I haven't worn it much lately.
Where is Mom?
Oh, she's playing bridge over at Mrs. Randolph's.
I am not. I'm right here. Hi.
For goodness, this is a wonderful surprise. I thought you were over to Clara's.
Well, I was, but all that talk about skating made me want to skate again, so I talked the girls into coming over here to play bridge.
Oh, hiya, girls. Oh, gee, isn't it wonderful? Here it is, the day after Christmas. We're all here together skating. It's just like old times.
Is it ours to bring the girls home for something to eat a little later on, Mom?
Well, it sure is.
Well, we'll see you a little while then.
All right.
Okay,
bye.
so long. See you later. Oh, gee, isn't this wonderful, Harriet? Gosh, just like old times.
Well, come on, old-timer, let's skate.
Oh, no. May I have 2 of those, please? Thank you very much. Here's one for you.
have some important news for high school students everywhere. Kodak is offering $5,000 in prizes in its National High School Photo Contest. I'm sure you'll want to enter because you can win up to $300 for the kind of pictures you take every day. Here are some of last year's winners. Walter Thiem of Greenwich, Connecticut took this one. And Bob Peterson of Albany, California took this with a borrowed camera. Both won $300. Warren Hearn of Englewood, Colorado took this. And here's one by Norm Vinig of Collegeville, Minnesota. Any snaps you've taken since last April, yearbook pictures, pictures of your friends, all have a chance to win. For full details on this contest, send a postcard to Kodak, Rochester, New York. That's all. Just Kodak, Rochester, New York. Why not do it right now?
Next week for more adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, produced on Eastman Film with all the scope and realism that only motion pictures make possible. And brought to you by Eastman Kodak Company and Kodak dealers everywhere. This has been an ABC Television Network film presentation.
Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, the irrepressible Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson. The Nelsons' next-door neighbor, Thorny, is played by Don DeFore.
Mailman.
Oh, good.
Anything there for me?
Well, they seem to be for both of us. Here, I'll split them with you.
Oh, gee, thanks.
What are you complaining about? You haven't got any envelopes open. Oh, it's a thank you note from the Dunkles. They loved our Christmas present.
Oh, that's good. This is rather interesting. It's from the bank. They think it's about time we open a new savings account for next Christmas.
It seems like a good idea.
Yeah. With what, though?
Must be from Doc Williams. Smells like ether.
You have the most vivid imagination.
Yeah? Oh, they love the ashtray we sent them for Christmas.
Oh, that's good.
Ashtray?
Well, what did we send them?
Well, I bought it for a candy dish. I guess you could use it for an ashtray, though.
Well, what do you care as long as they like it?
Any mail for me, Mom?
No, I'm afraid not, dear. Were you expecting any?
Not necessarily.
I was just hoping for a late Christmas check.
Oh, well, I'm afraid you're out of luck. Oh, speaking of Christmas, have you guys written your thank you notes yet?
Well, sure. We wrote Grandma Nelson last week. Don't you remember? And Aunt Lyde.
And we thanked Uncle Al and Aunt Kay over the telephone.
Well, I still think they'd like to receive a thank you note from you. You know, people like to save those things.
How about Iggy Schwartz? He sent you a present, didn't he?
Well, gee, Pop, I see him every day at school.
Well, I still don't think it'd do any harm to send him a little note.
Of course not. He was thoughtful enough to send you a Christmas present. You know, the fact that you see people every day doesn't make any difference. They still like to receive a little note from you.
You mean I have to write one to you and Pop and David?
No, not necessarily. But I think it'd be nice if you sent one to Iggy.
Well, it does seem kind of silly writing a note to a person you see every day.
Oh, I don't think so.
Hey, I just thought of something. I don't have any writing paper or envelopes.
Oh, that's a pretty feeble excuse. There's plenty of writing paper in the den.
Just grasping at straws.
We might as well do them right after breakfast and get them over with.
Sure. And have the letters written by the time you sit around here talking about it.
I still don't think I should write Iggy. He'll think I'm crazy.
He'll be very happy to receive it.
I don't even know what to write him.
Well, we have a book of etiquette in there somewhere. I'm sure there'll be some good suggestions in that.
Tell you what I'll do, Rick. Right after breakfast, as soon as you finish that, you go in the den and start writing the letter. And I'll be in a few minutes and give you a hand with it.
Well, thanks, Pop. What'd you write Mr. Thornberry about the fruitcake he sent you?
Oh, Mr. Thornberry? Well, I didn't send him a formal note.
What kind of a note did you write him?
Oh, well, I didn't exactly write him any kind of note. I thanked him in person.
I thanked Iggy Schwartz in person.
Well, yes, I know, but that's different. See, Mr. Thornberry is our neighbor. He lives right next door, and I see him every day.
Well, I see Iggy every day.
Well, yes, I know you do, but, see, that's completely different. See, Mr. Thornberry gave me a fruitcake.
I give up. What does that prove?
Well...
Yeah, Pop, what does that prove?
Well, it's... I mean, your mother...
Come on, Pop. We'll write them together.
How to help this book of etiquette is.
Well, there must be something there on thank you notes, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a sample in here. We'll listen to it. Dear Ethel, I just can't tell you how delighted I am with the simply darling brooch you sent me. Thank you, dear. It was so sweet of you. Affectionately, Mary.
Well, that's just an example to give you an idea. Naturally, you have to fit it into the circumstances. How are you doing, Dave?
Oh, pretty good, I guess. I'm almost finished. How about you?
Well, it's coming.
Dear Thorny.
Well, I always kind of like to work it out in my head first.
I think I got mine now, Pop. You want to hear it?
Hey, it's pretty quick.
Dear Iggy, I just can't tell you how delighted I am with the simply darling book you sent me. Thank you, dear. It was so sweet of you. Affectionately, Mary.
Mary?
Sure. You don't think I'm going to sign my name to a thing like that, do you?
Look, Rick, you're making a big deal out of this. All you have to do is tell Iggy in your own words how much you enjoyed the book.
Yeah, but I didn't enjoy it. I already read it.
Look, if it's so tough, why don't you write some of the other letters? Write one to Aunt Florence.
Yeah, that's a good idea. David?
Yeah?
What'll I say?
Look, I'm trying to write a letter, too.
What did Aunt Florence send you?
A sports shirt.
Okay, take this down. Dear Aunt Florence.
I've already got that, Pop.
Okay. Dear Aunt Florence, thanks for the sports shirt. It fits fine.
Thanks, Pop. The only trouble is it doesn't fit fine.
In that case, you still say, thanks for the beautiful sports shirt. It fits fine.
Or else find something else nice to say about it.
The sleeves are too long, the collar's too big. The whole thing just doesn't fit. It's too big.
You could still write and say it fits fine. Just don't tell her I'm the one it fits.
What David means is you're actually thanking the person for being so thoughtful.
Yeah, but it's different with you and David. You're thanking somebody for something you like.
Well, not necessarily. As a matter of fact, I don't especially care for fruitcake. Yet I'm writing a letter to Mr. Thornberry out of courtesy to thank him and tell him how much I've enjoyed it.
I thought you haven't tasted it yet.
Well, I haven't.
Sounds to me like you're writing down a bunch of stuff that isn't true just to make somebody feel good.
You're missing the whole point of this, son. If it'll make you feel any happier, I'll go out to the kitchen and I'll eat some of the fruitcake. I'll come back and write the letter later.
Pop?
Yeah?
No ditching out. We're in this thing together.
No.
Dear Iggy.
I'm going to write mine upstairs.
What's the matter with you?
I'm trying to write Uncle Ben, and I wrote Dear Thorny twice, and now I just wrote Dear Iggy.
Oh, how are the notes coming?
Oh, pretty good, thanks. Do you know where that fruitcake is that Thorny gave me for Christmas?
I thought you didn't care for fruitcake.
Well, I don't especially. But I don't want to eat it. I just want to taste it.
Oh, I think it's in the cupboard over there.
I don't see it.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. Here it is right here.
Oh, no, here it is right here.
No, this is the fruitcake you got from Thorny for Christmas. Still has his card on it.
Well, this has Thorny's card on it, too. How come I got two fruitcakes from him?
Well, that's probably the one he gave you last year.
I don't remember Thorny's giving me a fruitcake last year.
Well, sure, don't you remember? You said the same thing about the one he gave you the year before that.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Doesn't that seem awful strange, a man giving me fruitcake 3 years in a row?
Well, some people just have a hard time deciding what they want to buy for Christmas presents.
Well, I mean, I can understand that if it's a business acquaintance, but you'd think a man would use a little more thought selecting a Christmas gift for his best friend.
I don't know why. His best friend didn't even remember what he got.
Well, I still say it's silly to have 2 fruitcakes in the house.
4. Mr. Miller at the market gave us one, and the milkman gave us one.
How about that? That Thorny sure has an original mind. And after all the thought I put into his gift.
I thought you gave him a jar of hard candy.
Well, I did. I said to myself, what would I like to have somebody give me for Christmas? And I decided on a jar of hard candies. I've liked them ever since I was a small boy. Everybody likes them.
Well, maybe Thorny likes fruitcake. That's the reason he gave you one.
Besides, I had a hard job finding one with a lot of peppermint sticks in it.
Well, I don't know, dear. I'm sure Thorny meant well.
Well, I still say it shows a lack of originality to give a man the same gift year after year after year. Have you felt the weight of this thing? It must weigh a ton.
Well, it's a year old. Oh! Did you hurt yourself?
I think I broke my toe. Oh!
Oh, come now. Can't hurt that bad. By the way, did you finish writing your thank you note to him?
A thank you note? Are you kidding, Harriet? He probably tells his secretary to order a couple of dozen of these things and send them to everybody he knows.
Well, it wouldn't hurt you to write him a thank you note anyway.
I'm sorry, but I'm not that much of a hypocrite. My best friend sends me a fruitcake 3 years in a row. What's Christmas coming to?
Boy, this is more work than I thought.
Oh, good. You all finished?
Yes, ma'am. I have one of them done. See if you like it. Dear Iggy, thanks for the wonderful book. It was wonderful. Think that's too flowery?
No.
Rick, I've been thinking over this whole situation about the book Iggy gave you, and I've come to the conclusion that if you really don't like it, you've got a perfect right to change the letter.
Gee, I have, about 7 times.
I know, but what I mean is I don't think there's any necessity for you to sit down and write a bunch of flowery stuff when the boy doesn't even take the trouble to pick out a gift that you can enjoy.
You don't have to make up another letter?
Well, that's something between you and your conscience, son. Just remember there's an old proverb, and it stood the test of time pretty well. Honesty is the best policy.
Well, you mean you're not going to write a thank you note to Thorny?
Harriet, there are some things it's better to tell a person right to his face. I'm going to find Thorny and tell him exactly what I think of his fruitcake. Well, to get right to the point, Thorny, what I wanted to talk to you about was the fruitcake you gave me for Christmas.
Wait a minute, Oz. You mean you came all the way down here to thank me? Oh, you shouldn't have done it. However, I am glad you liked it. I get them every year at the Emporium. Aren't they delicious?
Oh, well, yes, if you like fruitcake.
Holy smoke, Oz, it just occurred to me. I haven't thanked you for those hard candies you gave me.
That's okay. I'm glad you liked them.
Like them? Well, I love hard candies. And what a wonderful selection. The limes and the cherries and those little red striped ones.
Oh, those are the peppermint sticks.
Oh, they're terrific. Kind of bite your tongue.
Yeah.
Honestly, Oz, I don't know how to thank you. It's such a wonderful gift.
Oh, well, gee, thanks, Thorny.
Oh, sure. Like I told Catherine. I said, Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without those wonderful, delicious hard candies Ozzie gives me every year.
You mean I've given you those before?
Well, for the past 3 years. Really, Oz, you couldn't have picked a better gift. You know, I hate to sound slushy or sentimental, but gee, isn't it nice when two fellows have such a warm relationship that they just instinctively know the right gift to buy for each other?
Oh, yeah, you're right there, Thorny.
I'm sure glad you like the fruitcake, Oz.
Oh, gee, thanks a lot. Well, I think I'd better be getting along, Thorny. I'll see you a little later.
Okay. Wait a minute, Oz. What's the matter? You're limping. Is something wrong with your foot?
Oh, nothing serious. I just dropped a rock on it.
Oh, no, don't tell me you're still writing that thank you note to Iggy Schwartz.
Will you stop bothering me? I'm having enough trouble as it is.
What are you making such a big deal out of it for? Pop told you what to do. Just write something diplomatic and sign it. What's so hard about that?
That's not what Pop told me to do, wise guy.
It is so. I was right there.
That's what he said at first, but later on he changed his mind.
When was that?
Right after he dropped the fruitcake on his toe.
What did he tell you to write?
He just said to keep in mind that honesty is the best policy.
Okay, keep it in mind and write the letter.
That's what I was doing when you came in. I got it practically finished right now. You want to hear it?
No, thanks. I got a whole chapter to read in Man and Civilization.
Big scholar. Doesn't it say anything in there about being courteous to your own family, your own brother, your own flesh and blood?
That's a different subject entirely. This is a study of man and his relationship to his environment, starting with prehistoric man. Speaking of prehistoric man...
Okay, I'm going to get a haircut this afternoon.
I didn't say a word.
Dear Iggy, I'm writing this letter to let you know honestly and frankly are underlined.
Fine.
And in capital letters.
Go ahead.
To let you know honestly and frankly what I think of the book you sent me for Christmas.
Oh, what happened? You guys been confined to quarters?
No, I'm finishing my letter to Iggy Schwartz. I was just reading it to David.
Yeah, and I'm trying to study.
You want to hear it, Pa?
Oh, yes, maybe I'd better.
Dear Iggy, I'm writing this note to let you know honestly and frankly are underlined.
And in capital letters.
You haven't written anything there that might hurt Iggy's feelings, I hope.
Oh, heck no. I just say that I don't like the book.
Now, Rick, that's not very diplomatic. That's pretty blunt.
Well, I thought you told me to be honest and frank.
Well, yes, I did. But after thinking it over, I've sort of changed my mind again. I mean, you should be honest and frank, but also diplomatic.
Are we back to being diplomatic again?
Oh, hello, dear. I just explaining to Rick.
Just what exactly does diplomatic mean, Pa?
Oh, well, it just means being tactful and sneaky. Well, for instance, suppose you should meet a woman and she's wearing a ridiculous, silly-looking hat. Well, you wouldn't come right out to her and say, oh, that reminds me, Harriet.
Remind you of what?
Well, I'll tell you about it later. Anyway, I think, Rick, you just ought to write a real nice letter to Iggy and tell him you enjoyed reading the book and you appreciate his thoughtfulness.
Okay, Pop, if you say so.
I think that's best, too, dear.
Okay, Mom, if you say so.
I agree with Mom and Pop.
Okay, David, if you say so.
Well, let's get out and let the boys get to work.
Okay, dear, if you say so.
Well, come on, little man. Get back to work.
There's just one thing I want to know.
What's that?
What happened to that honest and direct approach of yours?
Oh, well, to be perfectly frank with you, I ran into Thorny down at the drugstore, and before I had a chance to say anything, he started to tell me how much he enjoyed the wonderful hard candies I gave him.
Oh, wasn't that nice?
Yeah, it seems I just sort of hit on something he especially liked, so I didn't have the heart to tell him I didn't care for the fruitcake.
Well, I should hope not. That'd have been a terrible thing to do.
Yeah. You know, he's right. That hard candy makes a wonderful Christmas gift. I wish somebody'd given me some.
Why don't you ride downtown with me and buy yourself some?
Well, are you going downtown now?
Yes, I'm going down to the Emporium and exchange a few things.
Oh, Christmas gifts?
Just a few things.
Say, here's an idea. Maybe the Emporium would let me exchange the fruitcake Thorny gave me, you know, the one I didn't drop on my toe, for a jar of hard candies.
Well, I'm sure they'd be glad to. Did he buy it there?
Yes, he said so. You know, isn't it funny that I should pick out something that Thorny's crazy about, and he should buy something that I don't like? I guess it must be intuition or something, huh?
I suppose so.
What are you exchanging?
Oh, just a few things.
Well, such as what?
Well, the slip that Mother gave me is too small,
And Clara Randolph gave me a sandwich plate I'd like in a different pattern. And Mary Dunkel gave me a pretty sweater that I'd like in a different color.
Is that all you're exchanging?
Yes, why?
Oh, nothing. I was just wondering.
No, don't worry, dear. Everything you gave me is just perfect.
Oh. Good to hear. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, I don't want to inconvenience you, but I would like to exchange this.
Oh, it's no trouble at all. What is it?
Oh, it's one of your fruitcakes.
Oh, yes, of course. Was it damaged in some way?
No. It's in perfect physical condition. It's hard as a rock.
You mean the fruitcake was stale?
Oh, no. In fact, it's very tasty. I imagine some people are very fond of fruitcake.
Oh, I am. My aunt makes delicious fruitcake.
Oh, well, good for her. My mother, too, always made delicious fruitcake, but even as a small boy, I just never cared for fruitcake.
I see. Would you like a credit on this, or did you say there was something else you'd like to exchange it for?
Yes, I would like to exchange it for one of those large jars of the Gibraltar candy, that hard candy, the old-fashioned type.
Oh, yes, we have that here.
That's it, yes.
Do you have your charger plate?
My charger plate?
There'll be a slight additional charge. The candy is $2 more than the fruitcake.
You like that?
Is something wrong?
No. I don't have my charger. Here, I have my license, if that's...
fine. Thank you.
Name and address is right there.
See. Mr. Ozzie Nelson. Address? Oh, that's strange. Do you know Mr. Thornberry in your neighborhood?
Well, yes, he's my next-door neighbor.
Well, this is a coincidence. He was in here just a few minutes ago with a jar of candy just like that, and he exchanged it for a fruitcake.
How you doing, dear?
Harriet, this... I hate to say this, dear, but that's the silliest-looking hat you've ever worn in your life. It's bad enough that Thorny was two-faced and mealy-mouthed. But the thing that really burns me up is he got a $2 refund on my present. Think of that, Harriet. The hard candies cost $2 more than the fruitcake. How do you like that?
What's wrong with my hat?
Nothing. Your hat is beautiful, Harriet. I was just kind of burned up at Thorny. Wait till I see that big faker. I was right the first time. A direct approach is the only way you can keep friends. Diplomacy is all right. If you ask me, there's nothing better than coming right out and telling the truth. Personally, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's a hypocrite.
It's Christmas morning. And for this family, it's Christmas morning all over again, as often as they like, in their own full-color movies. Now there's no reason why you, too, can't relive the joy of Christmas in movies. Why don't you put this handsome package under your tree? And don't forget the tag that says, "Open me first." Save the joy of this Christmas right from the very first moment. The complete Brownie movie camera kit, including light bar for making your indoor movies, costs less than $33. The camera alone costs less than $25, or as little as $2.50 down. And the name Kodak tells you it's a gift you'll be proud to give.
That sounds like a good idea.
Next week, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet will be brought to you by the Coca-Cola Company.
The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, the irrepressible Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson. The Nelsons' next-door neighbor, Thorny, is played by DeFore.
Say, isn't this a nice-looking Christmas tree the Nelsons have at their house? The decorations are real pretty, too. And speaking of decorations, take a look at the Nelsons themselves, will you? I think they're wearing some of their Christmas presents. Yes, I'm sure they are. Ozzie has just said something nice about David's new shirt, and I believe David is returning the compliment with a remark about Ozzie's new Christmas tie. I wonder where Harriet is. Ah, here she comes now, and she's wearing a lovely new Christmas dress. Be careful, don't wrinkle it, Harriet. Say, I wonder if Ricky is wearing anything new. I imagine so. He usually... Oh, am I kidding? Wow, look at that, will you?
Do you have to wear that necktie?
Well, sure, Mom. It's a present. If I don't wear it, it might hurt somebody's feelings.
Whose feelings?
Well, the person who gave it to me.
Well, who gave it to you anyway?
I did.
Well, that's very generous of you.
And isn't it funny? I guessed exactly what I wanted.
Nevertheless, I don't think you should wear it out of the house.
Oh, Mom, why not?
Well, I hate to think of the poor thing catching cold.
I'll keep my coat buttoned up.
You better or you get mobbed.
Can't you just see me wearing this to school?
I certainly cannot.
Oh, Mom, I could be an overnight sensation.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to be a sensation some other way.
You know, this has been such a nice Christmas, I'm kind of sorry it's over.
Oh, it isn't over, Pop. Not for you and me.
Well, what do you mean?
Oh, say, that's right. You two haven't received your packages from Grandma Nelson yet, have you?
Oh, that's right, isn't it?
You lucky stiffs.
They'll probably arrive in this afternoon's mail.
How come they're late?
Well, sometimes the mail's a little late around Christmas time.
The males?
Well, yes.
I thought Grandma Nelson was a female. Oh, he's a dandy.
Graham, she'd be beside herself if she knew her packages didn't arrive on time.
Wouldn't it be neat if she made a mistake and sent me another one, too?
Well, how many presents do you want, anyhow?
That's the trouble with Christmas. After it's all over, you have nothing to look forward to.
Well, New Year's Eve isn't far off.
Yeah, then we go back to Brain Building Factory.
I think this little vacation will make you nice and fresh for school.
Personally, I think he's fresh enough as it is.
You know, I think we'll have a real nice time this New Year's Eve.
You and Mom going to a party, Pop?
Yeah, the Randolphs are going to whip up some sort of little get-together, I understand.
I wish I was invited.
Well, New Year's Eve celebrations are usually for grown-ups.
Yeah, that's a big jip.
What do you mean? I told you when it was midnight last year. I even had a horn for you to blow.
The heck you did. You never told me at all.
The heck I didn't. Don't you remember I woke you up and told you it was New Year's?
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah, I thought you would.
That reminds me, David. What's the big idea waking me up, anyway?
Well, this year you can set your alarm clock and wake yourself up.
You think it'll be a noisy party at the Randolphs, Pop?
Oh, that's putting it mildly, David. Your father and Mr. Thornberry will probably be the ringleaders.
Well, now, just a minute, Harriet. After all, you can't expect a bunch of young couples to sit around and mope on a New Year's Eve, you know.
You gonna wear the same costume this year, Pop?
Well, I don't know. I'll talk it over with Mr. Thornberry and decide a little later.
Say, I have a wonderful idea for a costume.
Oh, what's that?
You know that apron I have out in the kitchen, the polka dot one?
Yeah?
Why don't you put that on?
For New Year's Eve?
No, for right now, and then you can help me clear the dishes off the table.
Merry Christmas, Mr.
Well,
Nelson.
thank you. Same to you, Mr. Canfield. Come right in.
Oh, thank you very kindly. I just wanted to pay my respects and deliver your calendar and your memo book with the best wishes of our company.
Oh, well, thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Nelson. I do hope that we'll have the pleasure of handling your insurance problems for many more years.
Well, thank you. I do, too. Here, let me take your hat and coat. Come on in, sit down.
I can only stay a minute.
Well, we don't want you to catch cold.
Well, it certainly is cheerful in here.
Well, thanks a lot.
You sure I'm not interrupting anything?
No, I was just sitting around here taking things easy.
I think I know what you mean. This cold weather just seems to eat right into a man's bones.
Yes, it really does. Here, let me clear these papers away.
Oh, don't bother.
Don't bother.
You know, it's the same way over at our house. I go into the living room every morning with my prune juice and read the paper, and I just don't seem to have the energy to pick them up.
No, I know just what you mean.
Oh, I say, have you gotten to this week's chess problem yet? It's really a corker.
Well, no, to be honest with you, I didn't know we had a chess problem in our paper.
Well, actually, I didn't either till a couple of months ago. And one morning, I accidentally picked up the sports page, and there it was, right on the back.
Oh, I'll have to try that sometime.
It's very interesting, yes. It's a very pleasant way to spend an evening.
Oh, I imagine so.
I see you're a man who has learned to enjoy his home and family.
Yes, we have a lot of fun together.
Well, we might as well enjoy ourselves while we can. We never know, do we?
No, I guess you're right.
I'm awfully glad that you saw fit to increase your insurance a while back. You know, if you'd waited a few years longer, your premiums would have mounted considerably.
Yes, I figured I might as well take care of it.
I'm so glad you did. Yes, indeed. I feel we owe it to our loved ones to keep aware of our growing responsibilities as we begin to get on in years.
Well, yes?
Not that you're by any means an old man.
Well, no. I understand what you mean.
And yet, on the other hand, well, you know the saying, time marches on.
Yes, yes, it does at that.
Well, I guess I'd better run along.
Oh, can't you stay for a cup of tea or perhaps a cup of hot chocolate or something?
Well, that sounds very tempting, Mr. Nelson, but I really should be running along because I've got several places to stop.
Well, I'm awfully glad you stopped by.
Well, it was a great pleasure, Mr. Nelson. Why don't you come over to our place some afternoon? You know, we usually have the fire going in the hearth. It's really very cozy.
Well, I'll have to do that.
We'll look forward to it. It's been so nice seeing you, Mr. Nelson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Canfield. Same to you.
Now, watch out for the drafts. You know, there are an awful lot of colds going around this time of year.
Yes, I know.
Goodbye, Mr. Nelson. And Happy New Year.
Ozzie! David! Your packages are here from Grandma Nelson. Here I am, Mom.
Oh, well, fine, dear, but they aren't for you. You've already received your package.
Oh, gee, I ran all the way, too.
Did they really get here, Mom? They certainly did. Where's your father?
He's in the den lying down.
Somebody call me?
Yes, dear, the packages arrived from your mother.
Oh, fine.
What you got on, Pop?
Oh, this is one of your mother's shawls. A little drafty in here. I thought I'd throw it across my shoulders.
Oh, this is for you, David.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Whatever it is, it's pretty heavy.
Hey, look at this.
It's a book.
Obviously, we have eyes, you know.
Okay.
Oh, that's very nice, David.
May I see it, Dave?
Oh, sure, Pa.
Say, I bet this is as heavy as Ricky.
Yeah, it's pretty thick, too.
Don't get personal, David.
Biographies of famous statesmen.
Oh, that ought to come in very handy for your schoolwork, Dave.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, take a look at this.
Oh.
Gee, a sport coat.
Oh, yes, I've seen those advertised in the magazines.
They have them down the college shop.
That's pretty jazzy, boy. Wow.
Well, it's plenty sharp, if that's what you mean.
Try it on, Pop.
Yes, sir, I'll bet it fits perfectly.
Gee, it's quite an unusual-looking jacket, isn't it?
Hey, that's real crazy, man.
How's it fit, Harriet?
Oh, fine, dear.
Boy, that sure is a beauty.
Oh, it's very smart looking and so youthful.
Oh, really? Hey, Dave, see how I look in the mirror.
Boy, that sure looks neat.
Harriet,
Yes, dear?
you don't think this makes me look a little too... I mean that I'm kind of...
Well, of course not. It looks better on you than that shawl, I'll tell you that.
It does make me feel kind of... Say, you know, David has a bow tie that I bet it'd go perfectly with this.
Well, why don't you try it on?
Yeah, I tell you what I'll do, and then I'll go over and see Thorny and surprise him with the whole outfit.
That's a good idea.
Something wrong?
No, on the contrary, it's amazing. Do you know that coat makes you look 10 years younger?
Oh, Harriet, you're
No,
kidding.
honest it does.
Well, as the old saying goes, I'll dig you later. Hey, Thorny! Thorny!
Hi, Al.
Oh, hi, boy.
Hey, wait a minute. Where did you get that sport coat?
It's a Christmas present. Now, before you go any further, no matter what you say, I like it.
I'm with you, Oz. I like it, too.
Do you really?
Yeah, that's really sharp looking.
Thanks a lot. It's a little on the gay side, but it's going to be nice to knock around in.
Well, did Harriet give it to you?
No, my mother sent it from back home. I'm probably a little old for a thing like this, but, you know, it's really comfortable. It's a nice jacket.
Well, it looks terrific to me, Oz. Makes you look like a college kid.
Oh, stop your kidding, Coach.
No, I really mean it, Oz. Now, you're the type that can wear a thing like that and get away with it. Now, if I put on a coat like that, I'd look like a reluctant grandfather.
Oh, don't be silly. I mean, after all, you're even younger than I am. Or at least you claim to be. Cheer up, will you? It's a beautiful day.
Well, I suppose so.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Come on down to the malt shop and I'll buy you a double chocolate malted.
Well, thanks for the invitation, Oz, but let's make it a little later on.
Why not now?
Well, gosh, this is a time when all those college kids are hanging around over there. I'd feel sort of out of place.
Well, that's okay. I'll be with you.
Well, sure, but you're right in style. All you need is a fraternity pin. You can step right in with the crowd. Honest, Oz, I don't know how you do it.
How I do what?
Well, I've known you for 15 years, and you haven't changed a bit. No, Oz, I really mean it. What's your secret? Vitamins, minerals, all-brand mud packs?
Well, as a matter of fact, I could say the same thing about you, Thorny.
Well, please do.
Okay, then I will. By golly, in the 15 years I've known you, Thorny, you haven't changed a bit.
Must be the life we lead. You know, happy homes, loyal and congenial friends. That's very important, you know.
Say, have you made any plans for New Year's Eve?
You bet I have. I'm looking forward to it.
What are you going to wear this year?
Oh, I don't know. I'll think of something. Why don't you bring along your ukulele? I'll get a grass skirt.
Well, ordinarily that'd be okay. That is if we had just our crowd there, but don't forget they won't all be young people.
Yeah, I suppose so. Well, we'll manage to keep things light.
Oh,
Oh, this air is wonderful.
Isn't it, though?
Well, come on, Dad. Let's go.
Where to?
Well, to the malt shop, of course. You promised to buy me a chocolate float.
Fine.
What are you looking at, David?
This book Grandma Nelson sent me.
Oh, yeah. How do you like it?
Well, it looks very educational.
You don't like it, huh?
Of course I like it. It's probably very interesting.
Looks pretty dull to me.
Well, it isn't. Besides, how'd you know? You haven't read it.
It has a definite school book look.
Well, it's a very nice book, and I like it very much.
Okay. You don't have to get sore at me. I didn't give it to you.
I'm not getting sore. I just said it's a very nice book, and I like it very much.
If you like your book so much, go ahead and read it.
I have been reading it.
Well, read some more.
My eyes are getting tired. I've read enough for today.
Yeah, you can read page 2 tomorrow.
I've read all the way up to page 4.
I wonder why Grandma Nelson would send you a book.
Oh, it's a very nice book to have. Probably helped me a lot with my history.
I bet she made a mistake.
What kind of a mistake?
You know that sport coat Pop's wearing?
What about it?
I bet that was supposed to be for you.
If it was for me, it would have had my name on it.
Well, that's what I mean. I bet she got the packages mixed up.
Oh, Ricky, don't be silly.
Well, don't you like the coat?
I'm sure I like the coat. It's swell, but there's nothing wrong with the book either.
Except it's a book.
I like books. Now, will you forget it?
Okay.
Grandma Nelson wouldn't make a mistake like that. Would she?
You said to forget about it.
Okay. Just said Grandma Nelson wouldn't make a mistake like that. Would she? Well, would she?
You said to forget about it.
Okay, forget about what I said to forget about. You think it was a mistake?
What's the big discussion?
Oh, Ricky just had a crazy idea. Go on, tell her, Ricky.
Yes, please do.
It's really pretty crazy. You know Ricky and his crazy ideas. Go on, tell her, Ricky.
If it's so crazy, put me in a straitjacket and forget about it.
No, go on, tell her. See what Mom thinks.
Makes me sound like a dope or something.
Well, come on, Rick. What is this big idea of yours?
Well, I said I thought Grandma Nelson made a mistake.
Well, what kind of a mistake, dear?
I think that sport coat's supposed to be for David.
Oh?
Isn't that pretty silly? Craziest thing I ever heard.
Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure, David. I've been doing some thinking about that coat myself. Isn't that more or less what the boys are wearing in school these days?
Well, all the seniors have them. They sure are nice-looking coats. But I'm sure she meant it for Pop. Grandma Nelson knows how much I like books.
When did this happen?
Well, the more I think of it, David, the more I'm inclined to agree with Ricky. I think Grandma made a mistake, too.
Who's crazy now, David?
It's a nice-looking coat, but I sure don't want to take it away from Pop.
Well, you wouldn't be taking it away from Pop. If it was meant for you, I'm sure he'd want you to have it.
Maybe we better forget about it.
No, David, your father wouldn't want you to do a thing like that. He'll probably get just as much pleasure out of the book.
Do you really think so?
I'm sure of it.
I'll be happy to lend him the coat any time he wants to wear it.
Well, dear, I'm sure he'll be glad to lend you the book any time you want to read it.
You're joking, of course.
Harriet!
We're in the den, dear.
Let him sit down before you grab it off his back, David.
Hi, Pop.
Hiya, Pop. Where have you been?
Oh, Thorny and I took a little stroll down to Miller's and got a chocolate malted. It's quite a walk all the way down there and back.
You tired?
No. Oh, Thorny was really quite taken with this coat. It made a big hit with him.
Oh?
And, I don't want you to get jealous now, Harriet, but while we were down at Miller's, there were a couple of college girls kind of giving me the eye and smiling.
Well, good for you.
It's been quite a day. Hey, move over there. Let me sit down.
Say, as long as you mentioned that coat, we were just wondering.
Let's just forget about it, Mom.
No, don't be silly, David.
Forget what?
Nothing, Pop.
Oh, come on. It must be something.
Well, we were wondering. That is, it started with Ricky.
Don't look at me. I'm crazy.
Well, we were just wondering about the presents your mother sent you and David.
Oh, what about them?
Well, don't you think she could have made a mistake? I feel sure that coat was meant for David.
Oh?
I figured Graham probably got the cards mixed up. David says all the boys in high school are wearing coats just like that.
Well, only the seniors, Mom.
What do you think? I could be wrong.
Well, yes, you could be wrong, but if you want my honest opinion, Harriet, I think you're absolutely right.
Do you really think so?
Oh, sure. I mean, who am I kidding? Man my age wearing a sporty coat like this? Come on, Dave. Let's try it on, see how it fits.
If it fits you, it's going to be too big for him.
It ought to fit me fine by the time I'm a senior, Mom.
Well, Grandma Nelson always sends things big. You can wear them longer that way.
It just makes them all the older when they finally get around to me.
Well, there now. That's not too bad. Turn around, David.
The sleeve's a little long.
Well, heck, I could put them in my pocket and nobody will notice.
Oh, it'll be no trick to alter this.
Gee, it's swell. Can I wear it today, Mom?
Sure, go ahead.
You sure it's okay with you now, Pop?
Oh, sure, Dave. As a matter of fact, I've kind of had my eye on that book that Grandma sent you.
It's over there on the couch if you want to read it.
All right, swell.
I think I'll go outside for a while, Mom.
Me too.
Okay, dear.
Thanks a lot, Pop.
Oh, that's okay.
Ozzie,
Yeah?
it really was all right, wasn't it?
Oh, sure. I mean, after all, who am I kidding? A man my age just doesn't wear a coat like that.
David's been reading your book. He says it's really very interesting.
Oh, could you let me have that book a second? I think I'll go in and browse through it a little. It's pretty heavy.
Wait a minute. Something in it. Oh, it's a note from your mother.
Oh, Mom, what does she say?
My dear son, I'm all out of stamps, so I'm putting this little note in the book. If this is a federal offense or something, don't turn me in. Ha ha. That's in parentheses.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be so late sending your Christmas gift, but you know the old saying, better late than never. I'm a little worried about David's present this year. I know how careful you have to be about picking out high school clothes, so I'm sending him this book instead. I hope he enjoys it.
Well, then the book is for David.
Well, evidently.
Did she say anything else?
I hope you enjoy the sport coat, Ozzie. The salesman at the campus shop assured me that all the young men were wearing them this year. Love to you all, Mom.
Gee, how about that?
David!
No, Harriet. Oh, no. Don't say to David about it.
Would you mind to keep the coat?
Oh, sure. He's crazy about it.
Well, we can buy him another one just like it.
No, Harriet. I mean, after all, the coat is a little too juvenile for me.
Oh, I don't know about that. How about those two college girls at Miller's?
College girls?
Sure, the ones who were giving you the eye and smiling.
Oh, those girls. Well, you know, now that I think it over, it's just possible that they were staring at me and giggling.
Mom?
Yes, dear?
Is it all right if Ricky and I go to the early movie tonight?
I guess so. I see you've got the new sport coat on.
Yeah, pretty sharp, huh?
It sure is. Don't you think you ought to wear a tie with it?
Oh, yeah, I want to ask you about that. Do you think Pop would mind if I borrowed my tie back from him?
Well, no, I don't think so, dear. He's in the den. He's probably fallen asleep, though.
Oh, gee.
Well, look, why don't you go in very quietly and take it off of him? I don't think you'd wake him up.
Okay. Hey, Mom, can you give me a hand here?
Oh, you betcha. You get more like your father every day. Where's Ricky?
He's upstairs.
Is he changing his clothes?
Yeah, he's getting on one of Pop's coats, too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, wait till you see him. Come on, will you, Ricky?
Okay. There you are, boy. Night.
Thanks, Mom. Come on, Rick.
Ricky, where'd you get that hat?
Down the magic store.
Okay. Good night, dear.
Good night, Mom.
Have a good time.
Okay.
Ricky, you know you're supposed to take your hat off when you kiss a lady?
Please, girls, I'm married.
The part of the insurance man was played by Franklin Pangborn. Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family, Ozzie, Harriet, David, and Ricky. Here is Ozzie, who plays the part of Ozzie Nelson. And, of course, his lovely wife, Harriet, as Harriet Nelson. The older of the Nelson boys, David, appears as David Nelson. And his younger brother, the irrepressible Ricky, played by Ricky Nelson. The Nelsons' next-door neighbor, Thorny, is played by Don DeFore.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Haven't you heard, little man? Christmas is over.
That's where you're wrong, my boy. The spirit of Christmas lives all year round. Oh, oh, oh.
Ricky's right. The spirit of Christmas should live all year round.
It sure was a nice Christmas, wasn't it, Mom?
Oh, it certainly was. I think your father made a wonderful Santa Claus, too.
Yeah, the kids in the neighborhood sure got a big kick out of him, especially when he got stuck in the chimney.
I got quite a boot out of him myself. Oh, 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 oh.
So you were the one, hey?
Oh, gee, Pop, I didn't know you were there.
Oh, you gotta watch me. I sneak in on you, you don't know it. What are you doing there, Harriet?
Oh, David and I were just finishing the jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, there's a big piece of the sky missing, though.
Oh, now what kind of eyesight do you have? There it is right over there.
Where?
Well, don't you see it? There's the black sky with the stars right by the chair.
Oh, you better look again, Dad. That's a domino.
Oh. I guess I had too many eggnogs.
Here it is.
Oh, look, isn't that pretty? The wise men carrying their gifts to Bethlehem on the first Christmas.
Pop,
Yeah?
How come the wise men were so sure that the Star of Bethlehem would lead them to the Christ child?
Well, they just had faith.
Where have you been, dear? We missed you.
Oh, I was just upstairs in the bedroom, sitting there by the fire, thinking about some of the Christmases back in Ridgefield Park when I was a boy.
Hey, that reminds me. I wonder how come we didn't get our presents for Grandma Nelson. Think she forgot us?
Oh, now you know better than that. Remember, they came late last year, too.
Oh, sure, your Grandma Nelson wouldn't forget you at Christmas time. Have a little faith in her. Hey, speaking of faith, reminds me of a Christmas when I was about your age, Ricky, and Uncle Al was about your age, Dave.
Tell us about it, Pop.
Well, are you sure you'd like to hear it? It's kind of a long story.
Oh, sure.
I would.
Well, as I say, it was back in Ridgefield Park when I was about Ricky's age. Come to think of it, your Uncle Al and I looked a great deal like you and Ricky, David. I remember this particular Christmas, we were a little disappointed because there was no snow and we'd gotten skis. Gee, I can see our home now. We always had a nice big Christmas tree, just like this one. It was always gaily decorated with tinsel and popcorn and all sorts of shiny Christmas ornaments, and had a Star of Bethlehem right up on top, just as our tree does here. Oh, I think the decorations on our tree back home might have been a little different in those days, but the spirit of Christmas was just about the same. We had a nice big living room, and Mom always had it fixed up so homey and nice. I remember this particular Christmas day, I was looking through one of those gadgets that showed stereopticon slides.
Oh, boy, this is pretty funny. How Biddy served the tomatoes undressed.
Let me see that, son.
I don't know, Pop. You're pretty young.
Let me see it, son. Oh. That's pretty funny. How Biddy served the tomatoes undressed. What they won't think of next.
Wow, boy!
What's that, son?
Niagara Falls. You want to see it?
No, thanks. I've seen Niagara Falls.
Hi, Pop.
Oh, hello, Alfred.
Hi, Oz. What do you got there?
Oh, this is a silly little contraption somebody sent me as a Christmas gift. It's supposed to be a weather forecasting barometer.
Oh, yeah, I heard about those. They're pretty good if they work. That one work, Pop?
Oh, I don't imagine so, Alfred. This looks more like a little toy of some sort. See, the real instruments they have out at the Weather Bureau cost thousands of dollars.
Doesn't this one work at all?
Oh, well, I really don't know, but I don't imagine it's much good. It might predict something like, colder or warmer or something, but I think it's mostly a little joke. Do you want to take it and put it over on the mantelpiece, Ozzie?
Yes, sir. You think it'll ever snow, Pop?
Oh, I don't know, Alfred. It's just possible we might go through the whole winter without any snow.
Oh, I hope not. If it doesn't snow, we won't get to try out our new skis.
Oh, that's right. You fellas got new skis, didn't you? Well, of course, the weather could change.
You boys are going to go play. You better go change your good clothes.
Oh, hello, Ethel. The boys were just saying it's a shame there isn't any snow.
Oh, yes. I was hoping we'd have snow during the holidays.
Yeah, we got new skis for Christmas, and there's no snow anywhere.
Well, we may have some snow later on.
Hey, look at this barometer. Whatever it is, it's pointing to snow.
Hey, yeah, it is, Pop. Look.
Boys, I hate to say this.
Well, then don't, Pop. Look at it. The barometer's pointing to snow.
Yeah, it is, Pop.
Well, look, fellas, I said before I wouldn't have too much faith in this. After all, I'm sure this isn't very accurate.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they worked that good, everybody'd have one.
What do you mean? The Mullers have one. So does Aunt Mai and Uncle Harry. I saw it.
Well, I know, dear, but what your father means is that we don't want you to get your hopes too high on account of this barometer.
We know you boys want snow, but we don't want you to be too disappointed.
Yeah, but sometimes having faith and confidence can make things come true. You know, you've told us that lots of times, Pop.
Oh, yes, I know. It is possible that this little barometer could be right.
You mean you think it might snow, Pop?
Sure, if Pop has faith in the barometer and you have faith in Pop, then it'll snow.
Well, now, wait a minute, Ozzie. I didn't quite say
How
that.
deep do you think it'll be, Pop? Think it'll snow tonight or tomorrow morning?
Well, I don't know. It may snow tonight.
Sure, I'll bet you it'll snow.
In a minute, you're gonna have me believe in it.
Sure, just have faith in Pop, Al, and then it'll snow. Come on, let's see if it started.
They really went out like 60, didn't they?
How about that? Ozzie thinks that because he has faith in me that I can make it snow. You know, I think Al's beginning to believe it, too.
Yes, I think he is. Oh, George, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Well, as long as it's going to snow, will you check all the storm windows and make sure they're secure?
Oh, yeah.
If you don't stop pushing your face against that window, you're going to have a flat nose.
When do you think it's going to snow, Mom?
Well, it doesn't look very hopeful, dear. The stars are out.
Well, I hate to say it, but I doubt if it's gonna snow at all.
What's the matter with you, Al? Don't you have any faith in Pop?
Oh, of course I have, but he can't just walk outside and make it snow. Oh,
Hi, boys.
Pop.
Hi, Pop. How's it look outside?
Well, maybe it was my imagination, but I kind of thought it turned colder as I walked up Hackensack Road.
Hey, what's that stuff on your lip, Pop?
Hey, look, it's snowing outside. Pop's got snow on his face.
Oh, no, don't get excited, boys. That's shredded pecan. I stopped off at the ice cream store and had a sundae.
Better get ready for supper, George. I'm going to put the things on now.
Okay, Ethel, I'm practically ready right now.
Gee, aren't there any signs of snow at all, Pop?
Well, there are no definite signs, but you can't tell. The signs may change, you know.
Do you really think so?
Oh, boy, that'd be swell.
Now, look, boys. I'm afraid you're jumping to conclusions here. I didn't exactly promise you it was going to snow tonight, remember?
I know, you said it'd probably snow tomorrow.
I can hardly wait.
Well, that'd really be the cat's pajamas. We could go over to Strohmeyer's Hill and try out our new skis.
Heck yeah. What good are new skis if there isn't any snow? Pop,
Yeah?
it is going to snow, isn't it?
Yes. Ozzie, I think it is going to snow.
Oh, boy, come on, Al. Let's
Right
have
behind
fun.
you.
Oh, wash your hands, Ozzie.
Okay, Mom.
You too, Al.
Okay, Mom.
George, supper's ready. I said supper's ready, George.
Oh. Yes, dear.
You know, I couldn't help overhearing. Aren't you taking quite a chance?
What else could I say, Ethel? I mean, the boys were looking up at me with that complete faith and absolute confidence. If I want it to snow, it'll snow. How could I refuse?
Well, I know, dear, but it's such a beautiful night out there. Isn't a cloud in the sky?
Well, I know, but it could happen. You know something, Ethel? I think it is going to snow tonight.
It's all right, dear. You'll feel better after you've had your supper.
You mean it really started to snow, Pop?
Well, I'll get to that part of the story a little later, Dave. The important thing is that I had absolute faith in my dad. He said it was going to snow, so I believed him.
What about Uncle Al?
Well, I think your Uncle Al started to believe we might have some snow. I went to bed very early that night. My skis were right beside me so I could go skiing the first thing in the morning. I was almost asleep when I heard Uncle Al tiptoe into the room.
Is that you, Al?
Yeah, it's me. Go back to sleep.
What are you doing?
Never mind. Just go back to sleep.
See any snow yet?
No, not yet. Who says I was looking for snow anyway?
I wonder when it'll start.
I don't know.
I'm gonna get up real early so I can be the first one down to Strohmeyer's Hill. You want me to wake you up?
Okay. You better go back to sleep, Oz.
Hey, Al, I just heard some snowfall.
That was my shoe. Now go back to sleep.
Do you really think it'll snow tomorrow?
The paper didn't say it would. Pop said it would, and Pop's barometer said it would. That makes 2 against 1.
Yeah, but what do you think?
Well, Pop's always told the truth to us, hasn't he?
Sure.
Well, then.
What are you doing?
Getting my flannel nightshirt. You don't think I want to catch pneumonia, do you, when all that snow starts falling?
What's all the yelling about?
It's snowing outside, Pa. Well, so it is.
How'd you do it?
Well, that's a secret. I'm not going to tell you. Ethel, look, it's snowing out.
I know it is. The Weather Bureau's phoned 3 times and wanted to buy your barometer. And Charlie Thornberry snowed in up there.
No, how about that?
Come on, Ozzie, let's get dressed.
I put your clothes in the bathroom, boys. It's warmer in there.
Thanks for the snow, Pop.
That's all right, boys. Anytime at all. Look, I'm not the kind of person who says, I told you so, Ethel. But you didn't think this had happened, did you?
No, I must admit, you're right, George. I guess I underestimated a boy's faith in his father.
Yeah, it just goes to show you what it can do. Of course, the funny thing is, I never would have known it was going to snow if it hadn't have been for this little barometer here. Gosh, it's turned out to be a wonderful little instrument.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Look at it, it's pointing right at snow, and there it is, snowing like 60 out.
Yeah. It was pointing to snow yesterday, and it'll still be pointing to snow next 4th of July.
What do you mean by that?
Have you tried to move the needle? You can, it's fastened there. Turn it over and read what it says on the other side.
Merry Christmas. The north wind will blow, and we shall have snow. Now is the time to order your coal from the Brewster Coal and Fuel Company.
Well, that sure was a swell story, Pop.
Yeah, it sure was, Pop.
Well, thanks, fellas.
Was it true?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I hope you boys got the point of it.
Oh, I did, Mom. I don't know about Ricky.
Sure I did. What do you think I am, a dope or something?
I think it's time to turn in, fellas.
Golly, Mom, so soon?
It's getting late. Come on, I'll turn down the beds.
Well, it sure was a swell Christmas, Pop.
Yeah, it sure was, Pop.
Oh, thanks, fellas. I enjoyed it, too.
Hey, David.
Yeah?
I was just wondering about something. You think Grandma Nelson forgot to send us our present?
Of course not. Didn't you get the whole point of Pop's story?
Sure.
Well, what is it?
It's about snow. If your father says it's gonna snow, then it's gonna snow.
Say.
Hey, David, let's go ask Pop to make it snow tomorrow.
Pop can't make it snow, Ricky.
What's the matter with you, David? Didn't you listen to the story? Just a second, I'll go ask Pop. Pop?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there'll be snow around here tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. Do you think it'll be deep enough to ski in?
Mm-hmm. Come on, Rick. Go to bed, son. It's kind of late.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Pop.
You're welcome.
Did you hear that, wise guy? Pop said it's gonna snow tomorrow.
Oh, swell. We'll get up real early and make Eskimo pies for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, you'll see.
Thanks a lot. For sending them to bed?
What the heck are you doing?
I want to make sure I have plenty of blankets, boy.
You don't really think it's gonna snow, do you?
Pop said it would. Heck, if his father could make it snow, then why can't Pop? Pop and his father were related, you know.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
You sure you don't want a couple extra blankets, too?
No, thanks. I think I'll risk it.
Golly, I just thought of something. If we were gonna go skiing, how could we? We don't have any skis.
Well, we could borrow some. Now roll over and go to sleep. And stop thinking about snow.
Hey, David,
What?
turn on the light, will you?
What's the matter?
Just turn on the light.
What's the matter?
Give me a push. I got so many blankets on, I can't roll over.
Why don't you take some of them off? This is silly. It's not gonna snow anyway. Now roll over and go to sleep.
Rick.
Oh, hi, Pop. You guys are late for breakfast. Sorry, Mom.
What's the idea of the long face on such a beautiful day?
That's the trouble. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, I don't get that.
I tried to tell you, Ricky.
Okay.
Wait a minute, what's this all about?
Gee, Pop, where's all the snow you promised us?
Oh, you're thinking about the story I told you last night. I didn't promise you any snow.
Sure you did. I asked if it was going to snow, and you said yes.
I don't recall saying anything of the sort.
Well, you said, uh-huh. That's the same thing as saying yes.
Oh, well, I'm sure your father didn't mean to tell you it was going to snow, Rick.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, good morning, Thorny.
Hi, Mr. Thorny.
Now, don't just sit there wasting time, boys. Come on, get your heavy clothes on. We're going skiing.
What the heck are you talking about?
Snow, Oz, beautiful snow. Catherine's father just called. There's 3 feet of snow up at Mountain View Lodge. I think the boys and I can make it up there in a couple hours.
Hey, that's terrific. Can we go, Pop?
Well, you certainly don't expect me to promise you snow and then not let you go skiing, do you? Of course you can go.
I hate to mention this, but the boys don't have any skis.
That's right.
Golly, when you were a boy, you had skis and no snow. Now here we've got snow and no skis.
Oh, I'll get it. Oh, what have we got here?
Do David and Ricky Nelson live here?
Yes, they do.
I've got a delivery from Henderson's for them.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Same to you.
David! Ricky!
Oh, boy, skis.
Hey, just in time.
They're from Grandma Nelson.
Gee, how did she know we wanted skis?
Well, you know what your dad said. Have a little faith in Grandma Nelson.
All right, fellas, I'll be back for you in 10 minutes.
Just a second, Thorny. Harriet and I are going too, you know.
Wonderful. I'll tell Catherine. Good. Wait a minute, Oz. You don't have any skis, do you?
Well, that's okay. I'll find something to slide on.
Hey, here, Mom, hold these, would you please? Come on, Ricky, let's go put on our Arctics.
Arctics? What are they?
I don't know, but Pop used to wear them when he was a boy.
Boy, that David. He sure takes the fur-lined bathtub.
This is Vern Smith speaking.
Don't
forget that a completely different episode of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet is heard every Friday night on radio. Consult your newspaper for time and radio station.
Of Ozzie and Harriet, starring the entire Nelson family. Here's Ozzie. Here's Harriet. Here's David. Here's Rick. Here they are, America's favorite family,